Capricorn, how you doing? So I was just literally clearing my throat. I'm also hearing clear or Claire or Clare Street or Quality Street. I don't know if you're like eating a lot of chocolates or something like that might be coming up, because I keep hearing Quality Street. Unless you're looking for quality, not quantity. I don't know if this is where you're just like finding a load of things that is like quality, like I need quality product. Some of you might be selling, or you might be a perfectionist. Like, okay, if I'm going to do something, it has to be perfect, and I have to be a perfectionist, and I've got to have everything right. Okay, so it might be around where you're working, and you're a skilled worker, or it might be a scale, it could be a Libra or a fish, that might be a Piscean. Okay, but like, don't forget you can also watch this as a Gemini placement or a Capricorn placement or Life Path 6. Okay, but like I'm a skilled worker. Okay, and there's loads of things about me that is a perfectionist, and it has to be. I have to pay attention to detail. Okay, so it might be where you're doing arts and crafts or photography. Or, I mean, it's a lot like me when I'm doing these kind of things. It has to be just right. If not, it drives me crazy. So you might be a little bit one of those OCD people that kind of like the tablecloth. Like, before I come on, I have to make sure this tablecloth is like directly like with a camera. If not, it kind of drives me a little bit nuts. But like, so I have to pay very close attention to detail, because I do photography and stuff like that, right? And I do visual arts and crafts, and it has to be perfection. Like if I'm editing and stuff like that, I have to edit things like to perfection. It has to be right. Okay, so I'm definitely picking up things like that. So anything that would be to do with a camera, some of you might be, working with cameras and stuff, and you have to like perfect it. Like I have to, what's that Jim Morrison used to say? Give us an hour of magic to perform our art and perfect our lives. It feels like that it has to be perfect because it's my art, it's my craft, it's what I do, and it has to be perfect. And everything has to be like show, glitz and glam for a lot of it. So it might be something that you're showing off, and it has to be perfect. Like, unless you're just an absolute perfectionist when it comes to finding a person, and your outreach of a person is like, no, they've got to be good looking, they've got to be perfect, like it has to be the perfect partner, it has to be that's too perfect. Okay, because if you've been searching for ages looking for a perfect partner, then you've got to be, you might have to go down a little bit. I don't know, unless you're like struggling around the sex department. Okay, but like I'm hearing like they have to be perfect. They've got to have this job, they've got to have loads of money, blah blah blah. If you're really struggling, then you need to stop aiming so high. I'm not telling you to lower yourself. I'm just hearing like if you are such a perfectionist and nothing's happening, that's probably because you need to like kind of like, okay, just let's calm down a little bit, Capricorn. Okay, so I don't know if this is where it's a person and they have to be absolutely perfect. Like, and it might even be something around where you dress and everything that you've got, and it has to be perfect. Okay, literally perfect. Like, I have to look perfect, I have to dress perfect, I have to do this perfectly, I've got to do that perfect, like, and everything is on point, on flick, on time, like, literally structured to the point of perfection. Okay, it might be that. Now, this, I'm sorry, but it's kind of coming up for me, so I have to kind of tell you what this could also mean. Okay, when I do video editing and vlogging for the other channel that I've got, I'm very much like this when I come to editing, okay? I have to, because I do a lot of photography and a lot of design of arts and stuff, where if you was on the teaching stuff, I was telling you all about how perfecting something can really take you away from anything that's very negative. So you could be dealing with like a Piscean that dreams about things that could be really perfect. So you could be manifesting at this time, right? And it might be like, I've got an art and I've got something that I'm doing and I have to perfect it. Okay, so like if you was like, say, if you were like editing photography and you was doing a lot of like shortcuts and edits and stuff like that, it's about editing at the right time. It's about getting the right color gradient. So if you're painting or anything like that, it has to be the right color. Okay, so stuff like that is kind of coming up for you, where you might find yourself like extremely creative at this time, and what you're doing is trying to perfect your job or your arts, what you're doing. I'm trying to make it perfect. Like, so if you wanted a thumbnail or something, it has to be perfected. Okay, okay. It's what it feels like is that, okay, if something isn't working, I've got to stop doing what isn't working and continue to do whatever is working. And if it's working, don't change it. If it isn't working, do something else. Okay. So you may know that these are, sorry, I forgot to tell you at the beginning. These videos that I'm doing for you now, I'm going to start implementing the channeling and the reading just on here. Okay. When I do YouTube, that's just going to be a 24 hours, 48 hours in the past, 48 hours in the future, probably no channeling, and then just make sure that you guys that have paid get the channeling and the tarot reading, okay? So I'm doing it first before YouTube get anything, okay? So what I'm picking up for you is like that, really. If I'm doing something and it isn't working so much, okay, focus more on what really is working, okay? If you guys, your message is, if you are doing something that is really working and it's going really in your favour and it's kind of working. See, Aries had this. Aries, Scorpio, or Life Path 4s, if you follow me in the numerology. If not, you'll need the teaching tier. Like, they had this through their monthly. And it was, whatever it is that you're doing, if it's working really well, continue to do that. If what you're doing is not working very well, and this is where it's relating to like a Libra a placement maybe, if what you're doing isn't working, then try something different, okay? Now this, in that reading, is kind of coming through in yours, so you might have anyone, or like myself, I'm a Scorpio rising, and I have Aries in my chart, right? And I have a Gemini moon, so I come up in Capricorn, okay? So like, what this can also be, what came up in their reading was, if I'm, say, not speaking to anyone, okay, not, if I say not, you say Pisces, but if I'm not speaking to anybody, okay, and that's been working, continue to do that, okay. If you've been starting a new project and it's really working, don't give up, keep doing it, okay. If you are doing something and you just cannot seem to get anything to work at all, then it might mean that you might need to do something else, okay, like change it slightly, okay. So you could be dealing with a Life Path 4, a Scorpio, or an Aries. If any of these people or these placements come up in your area of me channeling, that means not speaking to a person if you've been speaking to them and you've constantly tried to like fucking get through to them, and you've spent majority of your time where you've had a very long break not speaking to this person that's a sibling or a partner, okay? If that's really been working and you've been feeling much better, continue to do that. If you've been dieting, okay, and dieting is making you feel so much better and it's been working, don't give up, keep doing it. If you stop smoking, again, continue to not smoke, it's working, okay. So what they're saying for you is basically don't give up what is working. That is also a person, if you've not been speaking to them, okay, and you've realised, okay, speaking to you is never worked, okay, this could be a sibling or a partner, and it's never worked. If it hasn't, continue to do that, because like not speak, because if you go back doing it, you're just going to go back for another cycle, back doing exactly the same as what you was before. And what they're saying is that this isn't going to change. And there's a lot of Scorpio, Life Path 4, Aries energy here, okay? 4s, I'm picking up mainly Life Path 4 Scorpio energies, right? Where you've got an opposition. We was just doing this on the teaching tier that I just put out. Okay, if there's a huge opposition between you and a person and you're not getting on, you don't speak or anything like that, don't go back into doing that, okay? If you've dieted, don't fail on your diet, continue to do it, okay? If this is like perfectionist around your craft, keep perfecting what's working, okay? Is definitely messages for you. Could be anybody that's doing things around like tarot card readings, working on a project, something at work, building a business and continuing to build your business. If you are continuing to build your business, keep working on it one piece at a time, because it will come in. I did pick up a message actually for myself earlier, and that was Noah's Ark, which was, if you build it, they will come eventually, but you need to keep working and building and working and building and working and building, okay? So if you look at this, there's loads of stuff here because it doesn't end. So he's continually crafting and building and crafting and building, okay? So if you've been working really hard and something has been working, continue to do that. Don't give up, don't self-doubt, don't self-sabotage, anything like that, keep doing it. If you've got anyone around you that self-sabotages all the time and you realise that it's constantly sabotage, 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 right? But you've been doing something around that person of not speaking to people that self-sabotage, then continue to not involve yourself in this group, in this person. Just do not involve yourself what wasn't working. Okay, stick with what does. That's a prominent message for Gemini, Capricorn, life path 6s. We are doing Capricorn, but you really got to follow me in numerology, because it will open up a whole new world of realizing what channeling is, what numerology is, what astrology is, and how it represents, and how you actually channel and you work. Okay, so important. So you need to be on the teaching tier, well, gold tier, which you guys should be on. Okay, so you could be dating a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarian. There's the 4 energy also. Okay, if it's an Aries or Scorpio. But again, okay, passionate about what I'm doing, continuing to do that. I love it. I love the person. We're getting on so well. Continue to do that. Okay, got to stick with your channel messages because they're very prominent. Okay, if I've been very passionate about my work and my career and that's been working, continue to do that because you're enjoying what you're doing. You're really enjoying something that's making you feel good. Continue to do that. Okay, that is definitely a big message for you, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, what have they got coming up this week, please? Starting from the 4th today. So you got the 9 of Cups in reverse, and you got the Page of Wands, Swords here. So it is, if this is siblings, if this is a sibling, or you are the partner of a sibling, and you are the younger person of a sibling, and you are not been getting on with them, continue to do that, because your message was continue to do what works, stop doing what doesn't. This is a 9. It means purgatory. It means that there is no change. It's exactly the same as it was and what it does on the tin. Okay, a Virgo or a 9 energy is difficult in order to find completion because it is literally a 9. Okay, so regardless of placement or whatever it is, if you have been doing something like not speaking and not talking to a person, continue to do that because it seems to be working, because it seems to be drawing attention to people wondering why they're not getting what they want. Okay, so that normally means leader, Aries possible energy, life path 4 energy also. So you could have a paradox, right? It could be a mismatch of, say, you being a rising Scorpio and you have a big conflict with a life path 4, for instance, okay? Or you are a rising Aries, okay, and you come up against a life path 4. Okay, Scorpio. But again, if you've done something and it's working, it is working because this person here is extremely curious to wanting to go back into a codependent way of being like it was before. Okay, so if you or the other person have not been speaking and it's working, continue to do it, because either way you're getting this person very curious to knowing, well, I really want to go back into this being like it was before. You've changed. Why are you doing something different without me? Because I've changed. You haven't. So people don't change, right? I know I'm expressing change. People do not change. A leopard does not change its spots. It just fades, but it's still the same person underneath. So if you've been tricked and fooled to go back into codependent ways of being before, continue to do what is not codependent. Okay, because it can mean here that is not meant to be for a person, and the last thing I want to do is trick you into going into something that isn't going to work. Okay, so like I said, if that's a sibling and you've continued to like not speak and not be held back by anything, and you've continued to do that and it's really been working and making you have time to be able to breathe and think and do what you want to do and be, I mean, to be honest with you, there's also an energy here of like, well, it's been working for me being single. Okay, so it could be someone's been trying to get your attention here, and this person really is, because they're actually not bowing down to like, well, you're not doing what you once did before, and now I'm intrigued of why you're not actually doing that, why you're not giving me any attention. Because these can be very big attention-seeking energies, right? Regardless of the number or what you're watching it for. These attention-seeking energies, cards, right? If someone keeps trying to get your attention by not speaking to them, and then saying, okay, then, well, I won't speak to you, and they don't, continue to not speak to the person, because they are also codependent on you as well. Meaning they're bluffing. They are not being serious. They're bluffing. Okay. They're just trying to get your attention in a way so you give it them. So they get their own way. Okay. So it's kind of like, I'll continue to do that until I get my own way. Right? Now, it might be a child that you've got. And this child is constantly playing tricks on people trying to get their own way. And they continue to do that until they get it. All right. Let's see. Capricorn. Six of Cups. It really could be in a family. Okay, a lot of you are in a relationship here and you may have children together. Some of you are looking for a relationship. Capricorn. So you got Libra, number 2, and you got the King of Cups, in love with a beautiful woman. Someone's in a cross-gender situation of a relationship here, because I'm hearing coming from a woman to a man, or going from a woman to a man. I don't know, some sort of same-sex sort of vibe I'm picking up here as channeled-wise. Let's see. Or I'm going from men on to women, because men are just not cutting it and I would rather be with a woman. You know, it's really what I'm picking up for you here. Capricorn, for someone, 4 of Pentacles. So there's money. There's also very stubborn and arrogant energy that's coming also from 4. So like I said, if you've been blocking someone out and you've not been speaking to them and that's been working for you, Capricorn, or the other person, then you have to respect what it is that this person's doing. Is blocking someone out for a reason, because they don't want to go back into this argument or codependent way of living like it was once before. There has to be change. And if there isn't change and someone starts to think, hold on, spidey sense, I've done this cycle many times and nothing's changed. And if it hasn't, is it going to? So I either have 2 choices. I either replay the same energy and hope to God that this circumstance changes, or I've done it that many times that I've actually realised that it isn't, and the person isn't. So what's the best thing? Continue to not talk. Okay, continue to not interact with people that do not add any substance to your life of growth. Because your messages can be of the diverse energy, which is continue to do what is working, which is not doing things. Okay. Let's see. Capricorn, this week, please. So the Lovers. So there's 100% a relationship here. But if you've like I said, man, if you're a metaphysical energy and you're been like not speaking to the person and not reaching out, but you realise that reaching out to this person is going to be pointless, then continue to do it, because someone's probably in a relationship and your message is it's not actually for you, that there's someone else for you here. Okay, because this could be a single person. You know, I'm single in the mixture of it. I'm sitting here looking and wanting and waiting, but I know the person's with someone, and what do I do about it? Well, it's up to you, but the messages were continue to do what you were doing. But they were also, if it isn't working, stop doing that and try something else. Because I really do keep picking up that there's someone trying to replay out the same circumstance that was presented to you before. It's kind of like, well, if I go back into this, it's just going to do the same thing as what it was. Like, you might even be considering reaching out to an ex and think, well, you know, there's a possibility maybe that, you know, I get back with my ex. And if I did, would that same thing happen? And then you suddenly reach the 4 energy and the love or lust energy. Okay, and do I really want to go back into this and open up a can of worms when I realise I've opened up to the person? If I did, then we would end up back at square one and doing exactly the same as what we did before. Right, here, 4. Okay. Let's see, Capricorn this week. 6 of Wands in reverse. You see, attention seeking. You got 2 6s now around a 4 energy. So it could be Capricorn on a Gemini, Capricorn. You could be like me, okay? This is a sibling here, but you are also a Gemini moon, okay? If you are, you can watch this reading because it's 6. Capricorn is a 6, Gemini is a 6. It'll call out the number before it calls out the star sign, believe me, right? So there's a lot of videos that you can watch if you're on here, obviously, okay? So again, there's a message here for anybody that's relating to like 6s, any part of your chart. If there's an attention-seeking person around you doing all they can to get your attention in a very diverse manner that seems very shady, then don't go back into it. It means continue to move on with your life, and do not go back into it. Do not go back into it. Do not fall for the okie doke. Do not fall for someone doing stupid things to get your attention to go back into this here. Okay, it means keep moving forward and away. Do not go back. Okay, that's a definite do not go back energy. Okay, so let's see. Because if you've been dealing with a karmic twin flame, for instance, right? Been dealing with a karmic twin flame, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And we've tried and we've tried and we've failed and we've failed. Teaching tier, okay? But tried and tried, failed and failed, tried and tried, failed and failed. It didn't work before. What makes you think it's going to work again? Yeah, well, just believe me. Trust me, it will. No. What Spirit is saying, no, don't fall for it. Okay? Continue to move away from the energy that is codependent, that is continue to not work. Okay? Because soulmates can be tricked to go back with soulmates, you know. It doesn't mean that, you know, you don't have to. It means that you can. It's up to you. You know, you'll have to see what your destiny profouls to you after you've made this choice. But, yeah, you know, it's kind of like that. That's a decision. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you want to or do you not want to? It's up in the air, okay? Up in smoke, just like Cheats and Chong. Right? You're right, Michelle. Let's see. Capricorn. Oh, there you go. So you are. It really does look like you're continuing to listen here. This is like, oh, am I listening to my intuition? Well, if you're not listening to your intuition, you're definitely listening to me or someone, because this is, like I said, it's or spirit. Continue to not speak or talk and go back into a circumstance that is not good for you, that has been very draining and very tiring around another 4 and also another 2. This one is in reverse. I didn't actually get this card out, but I was starting to talk about religion and faith and purging and meeting God head on, pretty much, okay? So it might mean that you meet this person in the street and suddenly you bump into them, and should you talk or should you not? Okay, but, you know, this is where 2 souls of a collective of souls that are all created by one energy have a little piece of them inside of you, which is God. When you meet God, a little piece of you express your feelings and emotions to that person to purge them out, to trigger you, okay? If the person is triggered and triggered and triggered and triggered, then your energy is you do not need to purge or tell this person anything else. Because if you do not trust this person, okay, and they are a blabbermouth, okay, that means do not trust them with any information, because they might use it against you. Information is the biggest source of control. It means that when they know pieces of your life, and when they have that, they may use that in order against you, okay, to have something on you to hold against you. Selling out, basically. So what it's saying is, if you have not been speaking to a person that's been divulging into your personal life and things like that that you don't want a person to know, don't go speaking off at the mouth to the person and open up and tell them about your life. Because if you do, they may use it against you at a later date. So this can be a very narcissistic card, because it means that when you talk to a person that talks to other people and manipulates it and does not get it from the horse's mouth, they just make it up, fabricate a lie. This can be truth or false. This is lying, right? A liar, someone that lies, fabricates things, makes stuff up. Okay, but it can also be someone that you indulge your trust to. You end up trusting them, and then they end up turning it against you to say that it's your fault. Blame, okay? Because you told them something in confidence, and they went and told loads of other people. Okay, so basically there is someone around you that you cannot trust. Okay, you cannot trust. Might be a Piscean, because I keep hearing not. Let's see. Or it could be a life path 3. Let's see. Capricorn. 6 could be a Gemini. Got my yacht. 6s. 1, 2, 3 6s. Gemini, Capricorn, and another one in reverse. So you got multifaceted Gemini, Capricorn placements here. Capricorn this week. You got an 8 and an 8 in reverse. There's a lot of this untrustworthy energy. If I was to take you out or I was to go and see you, things would pretty much pick up the way they did before, and I need an answer, but I don't want to give you that answer because I don't want to tell you yes or no. Because this is travelling. Are you going to travel? Don't know. Right. So it's talking, but this is not talking, it's blocked communication. Okay, blocked communication. Because it means that someone might start influencing you to do something that you don't want to do. Because it might be, okay, can you come over and visit? Can you come over and stay the night? Or can we talk? Okay, and you don't want to talk, or the other person doesn't want to talk. And this is trying to persuade them to talk when they don't want to. So it might be where someone's really into someone as a soulmate and the other person isn't feeling it. You know, or they're in a relationship already, and this is trying to persuade someone into a relationship or out of one, you know, because they could already be married or hooked up with a person. Hook, line and sinker. All right. Let's see. So, Capricorn, the King of Wands, is a 5. Sagittarius or a Taurus energy or a life path 5. Feeling alone. Right, this person has they have abandonment problems with self-sabotaging commitments of things and giving it up maybe for you, and like making you feel guilty. Right, if you don't speak or you don't do it, I'll make you feel guilty for not doing that. If you're very empathic and you're very like easy to be persuaded with guilt because you feel like you might be a bad person for not speaking to them, but it's continued to do it. Unfortunately, that's your karma. You know, if you don't get on and you've persisted to not do it, but a person can always make you feel guilty in staying or guilty in not speaking to them, they will continue to do that because it's working what you're doing, right? So, you know, you'll need the teaching stuff where I was telling you about oppositions of things. 9 of Cups, because someone, 9, because of gaslighting, control and narcissism, and someone's playing the guilt trip of gaslighting, trying to make you feel as if, well, I mean, like I said, man, y'all got to be very aware that when I say a message, that a controlling person sees you as a disappointment, that it's you that's doing it, right? So when you watch it, it's very easy to think, is that me or is that the other person? But what is here is someone that feels as if their child or their mum is a disappointment because they are no longer speaking to them because they're getting sick to death of being narked and controlled and gaslit. So there's no communication. So the person that has abandonment problems and self-sabotage come hand in hand with gaslighting. Because when suddenly you think everything is all right, it isn't all right, and they sabotage it, and you go back for another cycle of not speaking. So your message was, if you haven't been, continue to not. Okay. Page of Swords. No communication. 7. Because someone is waiting for this person to basically just do exactly the same as what they do. You could even live at home with this person and you know damn well what they're like. And you've ignored each other and you've continued to ignore each other because of the amount of gaslighting control. So you've decided to just like wait for this person to just suddenly sabotage everything, you know. Again, 6 of Cups. Ace. Because you could be on a different timeline, you know. You could still be communicating with this person and it's been an absolute shit show trying to, like, you know, get them to change, and they haven't, and your advice is stop doing it then. You know, and if you've split up or you're broke up or you're not speaking to this person, continue to do it. Justice. 3. Because of a third party here, because of a married couple, or because of a couple that are already together, or a drama triangle. There is more drama than a little. Or someone at work. What's the 3 of Pentacles? King of Pentacles. Money, 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 money. Or 2 men or 2 women. What's the King of Cups? 3. Really? The High Priestess. Is that a mother, a grandmother, a grandfather, or your actual partner, or the third party metaphysical? What's the Empress? Please do not give me the Emperor. So it is a disappointment. A mother feels as if their children are a disappointment, or the father does. That's 100% narc-controlled stuff, that is when a mother starts to feel like their children are disappointments. Because if they've got more than one child, okay, they can praise one child to make the other one person feel guilty that they're not good enough. Okay, whichever way it is, someone is sick to death of the control and the manipulation of making me feel bad because I'm not speaking to you here. See, a narc can also do that. Okay, but they will also see that if you're not speaking to them, they would think that you're controlling because you're not paying them any attention, you're not speaking to them, you're not talking to them. They probably feel as if you're playing some sort of game to make them pay for it, okay? And it's also them as well, you see. So whichever way around it doesn't work, you just go through a hell loop with the person because of the guilt and the shame and the everything. Or Shaney, Laney. But in they come loopy-loo, wanting to talk again the same way as they were, with a blocked energy, with a stubborn, arrogant energy to also make this person feel even worse. But again, if you contact and you talk, it makes it worse. It doesn't make it any better. The Lovers is, because the person's lying or lying to themselves. Keep trying to find an answer to why a person isn't speaking. Are they telling the truth? Are they not telling the truth? Is the truth for the fact that I shouldn't speak? Yeah, that's the truth. You shouldn't. Right. That's information. Like, I'm trying to look for info of what you're doing. I want an input into your life of, tell me where you're going. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me when you will be back. To tell me this, tell me that about your love life. Tell me, okay, now I've told you all that, right. I've got a plan to destroy that and then make you feel shit for it. Because you've probably realised the more times you've reached out and actually give this person the benefit of the doubt, they've turned it around on you as if it's your fault for talking to them. Yeah. So, there you go. 6 of Wands in reverse. So, again, lost and confused, and I don't know which way to turn. Now, because the person isn't helping me. They're not providing me. I need a way out. The Hierophant, the High Priestess in reverse. 7 of Cups because of smoke and mirrors and choice and option. Should I go back into the metaphysical? No. Don't go back into la-la land. If you've been talking to a person in the past that has played more mind games and smoke and mirrors to make you feel really confused, or even someone that's been drinking a load of alcohol and they're always under the influence and you believe the fact that they haven't and they don't know and they're not speaking and they're not talking. I'm sure this came up in the actual live reading with a person. Because this is my under the influence card, and if you think that someone's taking drugs or alcohol, they're under the influence, okay, and you're coupled up with that partner and they're an alcoholic, and you believe they're telling lies, they're telling lies, they're not telling you the truth. They're not actually telling you the truth. I think the person was a Gemini. I don't know if you actually come over here or not, but I know that you were on the live where I did you a reading that you paid for here, and I said, and it's the same reading. That I'm wondering if I'm being lied to if my partner is still under the influence. Yep, they are. They are. So if you're a recovering addict or you're a recovering alcoholic yourself, it's really not good to be around the person that could be drinking or gambling, you know. What's the 10? Yeah, 2. So you distance yourself from the partner. You're kind of splitting up. If there can also be a metaphysical energy here. Metaphysical energy connected to the 6 of Cups with a person that's already in a relationship. Okay. No speaking, no talking, up in cuckoo la la land. 4, sorry, but you'll need the teaching tier. 4 of Swords. Because there's nothing that tarot's going to get you out of when you're metaphysically connected, because you'll just be waiting for communication without doing it yourself. Or knowing that you shouldn't because the person's already in a relationship. So you've got a single energy here. You've got a lot of 9 energies here. It's just sort of like drained, tired, frustrated, still not reached that 10 yet. 6, don't worry, I have Virgo in my chart also. 3, so you got still again someone that's hoping to get with the person Three of Cups. Still going through it. Sagittarius, Taurus. Divine, spiritual, metaphysical connection coming through. Eight of Cups. Chariot in reverse. No going forward, no going back, stuck at a standstill. Eight of Wands in reverse. Seven of Swords. The same behaviour as what was done before. Someone's begging to play out a cycle of the same. So if you've got a person that shows a lot of signs of rejection and abandonment and self-sabotage issues, or you are a soul like myself that deal with a lot of people in your life that deal with self-sabotage, rejection and fear of abandonment and loneliness and guilt, then get used to it, because the person is exactly the same as it was before and will more than likely start implementing that again. So you don't have to worry about me, because my partner has a lot of Virgo placements and is a life path 5. Okay, so, you know, don't forget that I'm still on the same sort of journey as what you guys are, just going through a different timeline with a different energy, okay? But again, you're going through it where someone might start showing signs around coming to visit, coming to stay. What you're giving me isn't enough. I want you to come over again and again and again and again and again and again. You see, because of the travelling movements here of 2 sevens, what you've got is where you might give your partner a lot of attention, and when you stop giving them attention for, like, I don't know, if they're very codependent around like a 9 energy and they want to be with you 24/7 and you can't because you've got your own life to also lead, when you do the masculine energy and you start focusing on projects and things and doing your own stuff, the person goes to this energy feeling alone, that you're not with them all the time, and then goes into the analytical energy, starts worrying and panicking and fearing, okay, because this is also fearful that I'm on my own and I don't like it, and it reminds me when I used to be on my own all the time, and I can't find anything in my life that brings meaning to it other than a person. That's very dangerous ground. Hello. But like someone that focuses their life and completely and utterly absorbed in you, that's a lot of energy. When someone focuses their life, bases it off a person, what you're doing, when are you meeting, when are you coming over, you're the love of my life evolves around you, waiting on your decisions, your life, what you're doing. And if you're not paying me any attention, a person can go into very stupid behaviour to try and get it, which means they might start saying, okay, you're not speaking, you're not talking, you're not opening up, you're letting me in, you're pushing me out, when really it isn't. It's the person that's gaslighting the energy with the abandonment issue, because they don't like being on their own. They probably, like I said, man, if you don't have things that can keep you occupied other than a person, you've got a lot of work to do. Because a person will feel as if they're being pulled away and sacrificing all of their time to give it to a person with self-sabotage issues. So that means, okay, now I daren't do anything and do something for myself because I know you won't like it. And you'll start losing your temper if I start doing things for myself. And I don't like that. And if I do, and I think, oh, okay, I've got a project I really want to get on with. And they say, well, no, I need you to sit on the bed and cuddle me all day long, and I need you to talk to me on the phone for 15 hours. And you're like, hold on a minute, brother, I've got loads of work to do. Well, are you going to come over tonight? And you think, oh, man, I really just want a night on my own. And then they're like, on your own? What, you're not going to come and see me and I'm going to be left on my own? Codependent, abandonment, doesn't like to be on their own. Okay. So if you're a soulmate that's masculine, that has found self-love and projects and things, okay, and you are connected to a soulmate that hasn't found that, okay, you are the ones that are teaching the one that doesn't like to be on their own, where the majority of masculine stable energies love that peace and quiet on their own. They do. They do, I'm not lying. They love that time on their own, okay, because they don't have to worry about what someone else is doing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? I could just put whatever I want on the TV. I don't have to sit here and watch fucking love stories like you want to watch. There's something else I want to watch, you know. So it means doing things on your own, right? There you go. There's your reading. Whatever I do for Capricorn will come out on YouTube. But it won't be that. It will be a 24-hour type thing, and that'll probably be tomorrow, okay? So your weekly readings are probably going to be done a day before anybody else's or whatever it is that you see on YouTube. YouTube basically is for me to just get more clients, hopefully get them over here, and then give you your actual messages, okay? All right, guys, thanks very much. If you're on the gold tier, I hope you enjoyed the teaching segment that we just did about number 2, and some diving into like contracts, karmic contracts, dharma and karma, okay? Dharma and karmic energies of contracts that meet together to either agree to disagree, okay? So you either agree or you disagree, or you just watch the reading, just watch the teaching stuff. All right, guys, thanks very much. I'll see you soon.